help solar power companies 10x their revenue by bringing their sales and marketing into the 21st century. I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. So let's dive in. So if you know anything about sales, customers buy the results, the benefits of what your product or service can do, not the features. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by showing you some really cool results that we've got one of our solar power partners. So this is over 12 months we've got, we spent $18,000 and we got them 1,680 leads for that amount of money. So if you can see the second column from the end, you can see the cost of the leads coming through from $13, $18, $26, $13, $10, $16, and so forth. So, this is really powerful. And if you're getting leads from any of our source, like 3 Solar Quotes or any companies who are actually doing these Facebook ads and then selling you the leads, what we often do is sell 2 other companies the leads. So 3 companies are all competing for this one person's business. And usually what happens is people undercut each other and it's just a race to the bottom. So it's so important running a solar power company, but you get exclusive leads, people who are willing to pay the right amount of money to make sure there's enough profit in it for you. Because if there's no profit in it for you, or the profit's getting cut out of it, what's the point? So that's the first page. The second page, you can see the leads get even cheaper. But like I say, over the 12-month period, we've now been going for 14 months. But for the 12-month period, we've got 1,680 leads, averaging $10.71 each, which is phenomenal. Okay, so that's how we do that. If you, what we do is we run 2 services. But we can actually teach someone in-house how we do this. So it takes about 3 months. And over that period of time, we teach them creative, what the best images are. We teach them how to craft a really cool headline. But more importantly, is we help them create a sales copy. We'll go into that a little bit later. The other ops service that we do is we actually do a done-for-you service. We will actually run the ads for you on your behalf. We're moving away from that a little bit, but we're still taking on a few people where we can do that for, depending on the business. So we'll look at that a little bit later. So a little bit about me. I'm the CEO of Snowball Assets. I founded a company called Supreme Power in 2010, which I grew into a 7-figure business using these strategies. I also founded a company called Snowball Assets in 2018, which is one of New Zealand's fastest growing digital marketing agencies. And I've been in sales and marketing for 24 years. So I've been doing really well in sales and marketing. Ever since I was 17, I actually worked for British Telecom because they had the best sales training in the country. And I was on the top 5 out of 1,000 people 3 years in a row, and I won the top prize. So I did really, really well in sales. Took it to a duck to water. And, I can sell sand to Arabs. I can sell ice to Eskimos. I'm doing really well in sales and I know how it works. So what's in this slideshow? What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to book qualified conversations for free using your current assets and manage and organize them on autopilot so it doesn't take any time and energy off yourself. And I'm going to show you how to get bread and butter leads, which is B2C. And then what I'm then going to do is I'm going to show you how you can 10x your business fast with predictability with a strategy, which I'm about to explain. So just a very quick story first, just to make this get this point across. It's extremely important people understand this. There was a guy called Abbas Fernaz who was actually born in 1810, and he was one of the first people in recorded history who was trying to learn to fly. He did it all of his life. He never really succeeded because the reason why he got it wrong is because the actual wing itself wasn't an airfoil, so it actually never created lift. And what they did is a lot of people focused on speed and trying to jump off cliffs and all sorts of crazy things, getting pulled by horses. But the problem was the actual wing was fundamentally flawed. So it didn't matter how much speed we were going to put into it or what technique they used to move the wing through the air. It was never going to work because it was fundamentally flawed. And then 1,000 years later, now this is so important, 10 centuries later, it took before we actually, Orville and Wilbur Wright came along, and rather than focusing on trying to get the wing to go fast, what they did is they focused on the wing itself. And then what they did is they created an aerofoil which if you're technically minded and you own a solar power company, I'm sure you are, you understand how an aerofoil works. It creates a low pressure above the wing and a high pressure below the wing, and it sucks the actual wing in the air. And once they had that aerofoil right, they then strapped on pretty much a light engine, and it just worked. So, but the point I'm trying to make here is it took 1,000 years before that happened. I've been in business for 14 years now, and I know that I've had stages where I've been going year after year after year and not much has changed. And it really takes you really have to understand there's 1,000 ways to do things wrong, but only a handful of ways to do things right. So this is what the video is about, and how I'm going to explain how to do things right in your solar company to get you 10x within the next 12 months. So let's look at the first one: how to book qualified conversations for free, then manage and organize them on autopilot. Well, the way we do that is we create a pipeline. Okay, what we do is we use your current customers. If you're not using your current customers in a nurture campaign to push offers to these people so they can actually refer their friends and family for something that you're going to give them, which is obviously going to be cost effective, and then you're missing out on something that could potentially be for free. So what we do is we actually create a pipeline. And when I say free, I mean you're sending out bulk emails. I mean, it's relatively free. I mean, I sent out like 5,000 emails and it cost me like $15 or something like that. So it's not entirely free, but I mean, it's almost irrelevant the amount of money that it costs sending out emails. But what you do is you put them into a nurture campaign, and you send email 1. A few days later, you send an email 2, and it takes them on a journey. So these people are, getting used to seeing who you are. You're building your brand. You're helping promote your brand to these people who already have that trust factor. Because most of the time when people don't buy off you, it often comes down to trust. Which company can they trust to make sure the job gets right? Because as you're probably well aware, most customers only want a good system that's not going to cause any problems, a hassle-free install, and make the money that they expect to make. That's really what the 3 things that most people want. So by doing this nurture campaign, you're really compounding and doubling up on the referrals that you currently have to refer their friends and family. And what you can also do is later on I'll explain how you can do that to do B2B lead gen as well. Okay, so really important you have this. Now if you have your own CRM, you can actually do this in-house, or we have a CRM which is way cheaper and way better than Salesforce, way cheaper and better than Pipedrive, or a lot of other CRMs out there. In fact, it's less than $200 a month, $200 a month. But a lot of these other companies are charging $600-700, and it's just not necessary. This one works really well, and it's an in-house product we have, and it does pretty much everything that you need in a business. It does. Well, we'll go into it a little bit later, but that's what a pipeline is, and how you can use your current database to start getting referrals from the people who you've already committed to or already had a system installed from you. Now, if you do have your own CRM and you do get leads coming through, you can actually email them through. We can actually populate a Google spreadsheet, or we can just directly send them to your CRM if that's what you want. If not, then this is the CRM that we use, the same as the last page I was showing you, where you actually build the pipeline. That's in workflows. And the reason why this tile is actually slightly slanty is because I've actually had my mouse on it when I took the screenshot. So it's actually being moved, but when I let go of the mouse, it actually lines up. But what this does is it gives you columns from cold leads, and you can completely tailor-made. You can create as many columns as you want. And what it's doing is, as leads come in, they automatically get assigned to individual salespeople. Can be done on demographics where the people are, if you wanted to do it that way. But once they all come in here, then you can jump in this program and you can actually see in one glance exactly where everybody is and what's happening with them all. So you can have cold solar leads, people who aren't interested, and it's completely drag and drop. By clicking on those tiles themselves, it actually opens up a pop-up, and in there you've got, you can actually send them an email. You can you can do anything you want to them, basically. When it comes to managing the actual lead, you put notes in there, it automatically links to your calendar. There's everything that you need, so it's all automated. It's a really, really, really cool program, and something I've been using for many years. This is the actual dashboard. You can actually see where all of the leads have come from, what's happening with them. Really, really easy way to do it. So that's how you can actually book qualified conversations for free by using an actual pipeline or an email campaign, then manage and organize them on autopilot. So second, how do we get bread and butter leads? B2C. Okay, so that's back to the Facebook ad campaign. What we do is we have a structure in order for this to work. So many people are doing this, and we're not getting the same sort of results that we're getting. And there's a reason why that happens, and I'm going to explain that now. So the first thing we need to do is we need to build an RMS using your USP. So an RMS is a resonating message statement using your unique selling point. So we really dive deep and we understand how you can differentiate yourself from the rest of your competitors, because everyone's fighting in this red ocean, buying leads from lead generation companies, where they're selling it to other businesses, or getting leads from maybe like a cold call campaign or door knocking campaign. There's many ways you can do it, but everyone's doing the same sort of thing. It's really about taking your company, creating a really, really cool USP, which really defines you in the market, and putting you in a blue ocean where we can actually tap into people who are currently looking for solar power by using Facebook's 52,000 data points they have against every other person, and creating a really cool message that's going to resonate with your target audience. And that message, which I'll explain a bit more in a second, really has to make sure that you're talking about the results and the benefits for that person, rather than talking about, and this is the problem that most people fall into, talking about the neocortex stuff, the stuff that's logical, the stuff that, or we'll give you a discount, you can get, interest-free payments, we use these types of panels. I mean, those are all features, and people don't buy them on the features. Yes, you might have 1 in 10 or 1 in 20 people who are really interested in the technical side of things. And when you actually meet those sorts of people, then yes, when you pitch it, then you do talk more technical. But in general, when you're actually creating an ad, it has to hit the masses, the larger proportion of people, the majority of people. And the way you do that is you talk about the benefits and the results of what that solar power system can do for you, for them. Okay, so really put you on a blue ocean where there's less competition, and you're going to get more profit. You're going to get lower price leads, and it's just going to help you scale with your bread and butter leads a lot faster than what a lot of other people do with a lot of different other types of marketing campaigns. Okay, so the first thing we need to do to get started is we craft your offer, and we create take that offer and we put it into a message. And that message is probably the most important thing about this whole B2C Facebook lead gen campaigns, because that message has to be written in a way that's very simple to read. It resonates with the reptilian part of our customer's brain, which is basically family, love, health, really important things that really, sets off triggers in their mind. And we write it in a way that's very compelling, gets them excited, with a really cool and interesting call to action to get them to put their details in, which will then go to your business, okay, or go to your CRM or whatever, whichever way you want to set it up. And then there's a lot of companies out there who only focus on the sales copy. That's all they do in their businesses, because it's such an in-depth topic, and it's something that a lot of people don't spend enough time and energy on. That sales copy is the difference between getting leads for $20 or $10. It makes a huge difference. So what we do is we actually help train somebody in your business how to do this, or we can do it ourselves But like I say, we only take on a handful of people because we're winding that part of the business down a little bit. But we are still taking people on. And when we do take people on, we'll run indefinitely for them. There's no stop date on that. But there will be a point within the next 4 or 5 months where we won't be taking on anyone else, and we'll be doing purely coaching and consulting for other businesses. So there is a small window to still get in if you want us to do it. But like I say, the thing is, if you have someone in your office who've been working for a couple of years, who you're happy to invest into, we'll happily take them on for 3 months and show them exactly what they need to do. But we'll actually keep in touch with them for up to 12 months. So if you have any questions or anything, you can always come back through to us, ask us a question, and we'll always be able to do that in a group chat or maybe one-on-one if you need some personal help. We're very flexible. We really just want to see you get results. That's the most important thing, because by focusing on the customers, our clients, which are solar power company owners, then then the rest of the business looks after itself. So that's our focus. Really make sure that people get results 100%. The next thing is the creatives. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at 4 different creatives, and I'll explain what's good and what works and what doesn't work. And the 3 points that we're looking at is it has to be relevant, eye-catching, and authentic. So top left, we use this in Australia. It doesn't really look like an Australian house. It's it's a pretty picture, but unfortunately, it was obviously the full picture when we used an ad. But people are, emotional beings. They relate to other happy people, and there's no people in that, so it doesn't really do as well. And it kind of looks a little bit too perfect, So it did okay, but there's better pictures out there. Bottom left, it's really cheesy. So let's just look at the 3 things. So relevant, eye-catching, authentic. So top left, I would say that was eye-catching, not authentic, kind of relevant. Okay, I mean, it's relevant in the fact that it's got solar panels on the roof, but it's not relevant to the point where, we're showing you how it's constructed, like the top right picture. So moving to the bottom left, yeah, I mean, that's cheesy. I mean, it's got solar panels in there. It doesn't look very relevant because they're not on a house. We've got the happy people in there, which is, kind of authentic, but they look like models. And, professional images don't do anywhere near as well as images of your workers on the roof actually fixing the panels. Bottom right, I mean, that could be an ad about sunglasses. It's got the sun in there, which was kind of to do with solar, but it's not really relevant. Okay, so it needs to be relevant, eye-catching, authentic. So the best image out of these 3 is the top right one. It is eye-catching, it is relevant, but it isn't very authentic. And what I mean by that is it's got, it's just a bit too perfect, done in a very professional way. So this will be the best image out of all 3 of them. But if we had one of your guys on the roof and you took a picture, then that will be better than all of these pictures, okay? To a degree. I mean, I have to see the picture, obviously, but a bit of blue sky, something, someone enjoying their work. Whether your guys enjoy their work or not is a different story, but try and catch one of them when they're actually happy, if you can do that. When they're actually on the roof, fixing the panels or doing an inverter, these are the sort of images that work really well. All it's really to do is to stop the person from scrolling. That's all the image is for. You remember, these are people on Facebook. They're not actively looking for solar, but what we're doing is we're actually using Facebook's 52,000 data points to realize that these people, or to understand these people, have just been looking for solar on their browser sometime within the last few weeks. So we know we're in the market for solar, but they're scrolling through their page. So what we want to do is we want to catch their attention so they start reading, which is why you need to call out the audience in the first sentence of the copy. Then as they go through the copy, it's going to get them excited about the results and the benefits that your solar power system can do using your USP in a really cool RMS, a relevant message statement or resonating message statement. And that's how we do that. So, and like I say, it's working really, really well. So that's creative. And then the next thing is if any marketing campaign isn't working, it's either one of these three things. It's either the offer, the message, or the audience. And this is where Facebook comes in. If you're not using Facebook's 52,000 data points against all of its users, which is the largest database in the world, why not? Is it because you possibly had a bad experience in the past? There's so many digital marketers coming online, and a lot of them may or may not have experience, but I've been in the solar game since 2009, 2008, and then I opened my own business in 2010. So I know what works, I know what doesn't work. And when I grew my business to seven figures, I must have tried 15 to 20 different strategies, newspapers, radios. I did door knocking teams. I did telemarketing. I was banging my head against the walls because something. I just want to stick with one thing that actually works for these people, and that's how I turned it into seven figures. I realized that Facebook was really powerful if I could actually understand it and get the messages in a way that was really going to work, and call out the pains with the target audience, so they understood, the pains they're having in trying to work out which is the best solar company to go for, which is the best panels to go for, and all this problems that they have. If you can actually call out those problems, you will connect with them, and then we will start reading more, and then you're going to start getting them interested in what you can offer, how you can solve those problems. And it's always one of those sort of things. So create a really cool offer. You just need to do it once, a really cool message. You probably write 2 bits of sales copy, and then it's really about getting that message in front of the right audience. And there's many different functions on Facebook, but if you know what you're doing, there's definitely a way of doing that, and getting an insane amount of leads. $10.71 each is phenomenal. Okay, so there's ways of doing things, 1,000 ways of doing things wrong, and only a handful of ways of doing things right. And then what it's about is about test. What we do is we use dynamic creative in Facebook. I don't want to make things confusing, but what that basically means is we allow Facebook's algorithm to test different images with different sales copies, with different headlines, and to find out the best combination for the right audience. So we test. That's a very in-depth subject, and it's something obviously we'll go into if we happen to work together. So that's how you get your B to C leads. That's also how you get qualified conversations for free, manage and organize them on autopilot. So now I'm going to show you how to 10x your business fast with predictability. And the answer is you use B2B leads. So what we're going to be doing is looking at getting you a few commercial jobs. And this is where a lot of the money is. You keep that bread and butter coming in. Once you're spending a limited amount of time on the B2C leads, and it's all, it's automated, so you haven't got a bottleneck anymore. What we do is we'll focus on doing B2B leads and getting you some small, medium, or even large commercial jobs by connecting with business owners and property owners in specific areas. The way we do that is we actually use a program which scrapes Google. It also scrapes LinkedIn, and what we can do is we can actually find out all of the details for the email address, the telephone number, for people who actually own businesses, people who actually own properties, people who are in the market for potentially investing in a large commercial solar PV system, which is how you're going to 10x your company. It's the only way to really do it. You can go B2C and really go hard on it, but you might double or triple your revenue every year, maybe quadruple it. But to 10x it, you really want those commercial jobs. The way you do that is you actually use this program, and what we can do is we can actually give you 1,000 leads every day. We can actually upload into a CRM. But when we've been doing this in the past, we've just literally flooded the company with more work than what they can handle, because it takes time to get all the stock in, to do your pre-site checks, work out what cables you need, if there's trenches need to be dug, what sort of conduit you need. I've been in engineering for a long time. My dad was an engineer, and I understand how it all works. So, it does take a bit of time to install a large commercial system, but if you can get 4-year, or maybe 3-year, depending on the size of it, it's gonna annihilate your current bottom line. It's gonna make it look ridiculous. It's like, why haven't I been doing this for the last 2 or 3 years? Because it's gonna completely change you and your lifestyle, and your friends and families as well. It's gonna make a huge difference. Imagine what it'd be like, what your life would be like if you made 10 times what your net profit was last year. Okay, it's substantial. Okay, so that's how we do that. So who do I work with? So the companies I'm looking for is a solar company wanting to modernize their sales and marketing strategy. So I know there's a lot of companies out there who know deep down that the way they're doing things could be done a lot better, a lot easier, with a lot less stress by automating things, but you're not really sure how to go about it, who to trust, which is the best system. Well, being a digital marketing agency specifically for the solar power industry, we can give you advice around that. We can show you different options that you have, and we can even, sort it out for you. We can even get everything organized. So you wake up, you're not stressed every day. You wake up, you know exactly what's happening. You can literally log into our CRM, or maybe possibly your CRM, and you should be able to see exactly what's happening with every lead, with all the sales staff, what's happening with your installs, everything just on one page, to give you, the fundamentals and the actual results of what's going on. We work with commercial and residential, and we're looking for people who have a good attitude and are very hungry to grow. This is what we need. We can't give you that if you're not hungry to grow, and we're probably not a good fit. But if you are hungry to grow, then we can definitely help you. So who do I not work with? No, anyone not striving to be the best in the industry. I've dealt with solar companies in the past who are like, yeah, I don't really want to grow. I'm happy just to keep it, with like me and three or four other people, or me and 10 other people. I don't really want to go anymore because I think there's got more work to do. Like, let me tell you this, as your business grows, you should have less work to do. There was a quote by Jeff Bezos saying, what my job is to make sure I make 3 good decisions a day. That's what he does, is because he's automated things. He's using other people's time and systems and automation to get a business running. And he's looking at the big problems that are changing and focusing on them things rather than the little things, which people should be doing for you. So good staff. Your business is only as good as the staff who run it. So anyone not willing to change and move with the times, again, that's not going to work with us. People who complain about others for their failures, got a really negative attitude, and there's just no way this is going to work, then, it's going to be an uphill battle. You need to change your mindset if that's the case. So my offer to you is I've got a free competition, which is absolutely awesome. And this is what it is. So first prize, you're going to get a free month. What we'll do is we'll actually work with you on a strategy call, and we'll actually work out how we can actually give you a completely free month of lead gen. All you do is you just pay the ad spend, or if you don't want to do that, you can actually do a B2B strategy. So B2B or B2C, it's entirely up to you. We can do a combination of both, whatever you need, but we'll actually work for you for free for 1 month, which is absolutely jaw-dropping. We also have 100 second prizes. Now, what we'll do is we'll jump on a call with you. We'll look at what strategy you're using at the moment, and we'll see if we can give you advice around that. No charge at all, completely free, and see if we can put you on the right track. If you can then use that information to go ahead and actually do it for yourself without actually paying for any sort of consulting or anything like that, great. We might even jump on a second call if you need a little bit of a tip, but we can't keep doing that, obviously. But we're here to help other people, because every time I've done that in the past and I've actually gone out and actually done something for someone else, it's always turned around. I've actually got a referral out of it. It's obviously not compulsory, but if anything else comes out of that, then it was worth me doing it. So 100 second prizes, free audit. We'll actually look at what you've done in the past, then I'll show you some tricks how we can maybe make the results even better than what they were. And that's a really, really cool prize. So moving on. To enter the competition, you must own a solar power retail company in either Canada, USA, UK, Australia, or New Zealand, and you must be turning over between 500,000 and 25 million a year. Now, if you're making, if you're getting 400,000, maybe not 300, but if you're making 400,000, we're not too rigid on that minimum 500k. If you're making 50, 60 million a year, then not really what we're looking for either. So this is kind of the size of business we're looking for, between 500,000 to 25 million a year. And if you're one of those people, all you need to do is find out if you qualify. So if you just click the button below, answer a few quick questions just so I understand, I can do a little bit of research. I'll jump on a 10-minute or 15-minute introductory call with you. And if we are a good fit, then what we'll do is we'll set up that strategy call. Or if you win the second prize, we'll give you that strategy call. And we'll go through a few things and see if we can, work out what you're doing, how we can change things and streamline things to make your life easier, get your results, and hopefully 10x your company in the next 12 months. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Caroline Douthwaite, and if you book one of those calls, I'll see you on that call, and have a lovely day. Thank you.